Hey guys, it's Amber and I'm sharing 3 ways to use intricate floral dies on your cards. Before we get started, let's talk about the hop. I want to give a huge thanks to Justine for organizing and hosting another Save the Crafty YouTuber video hop, which is a celebration of card making video tutorials created by a group of talented crafters of all different styles. We're coming together to give our viewers a chance to discover other amazing card makers and help each other reach monetization goals. All you have to do is watch, like the video, consider subscribing, and click the link in the video description below to hop to the next video. Let yourself be inspired. Don't forget to comment because we have tons of prizes to give away. Please indicate if you're from the US or international so that prizes can be awarded appropriately. Huge thanks to Pink and Main for sponsoring a $50 surprise gift package on my channel, so be sure to comment down below. I purchased some new goodies from Pink and Main. I have the Floral Corners die and the Vertical Greeting stamp set, which I thought was just so unique. I'm going to be sharing 3 different ways to use floral die cuts on your cards, so let's get started. I have the smaller floral corner die here, as well as a piece of black 110-pound cardstock. I went ahead and ran that through my die cutting machine, and I'll just pop this out with my craft pick just to give me a little help here. And I like the 110-pound because it makes the intricate die a little bit more sturdy. I have an A2 size piece of white Neenah Classic Crust Solar White here, and this is the 80-pound. And I've also cut a rounded rectangle from the same Neenah. I'm going to pop that up on some black sticky back fun foam, and I'll just play around with the arrangement so that I have an idea of where I want to stamp my sentiment. So once I have an idea, I'm going to bring that panel to the MISTI. I've already adhered the sticky back fun foam to the back of this panel, so I removed the foam pad from my mini MISTI. I decided to break up the sentiment into 2 lines of text, and I'm inking up Thinking with Altenew Obsidian Pigment Ink, and I just used a piece of purple tape to mask off the stamp so that I don't get any ink on the bottom part of the sentiment. Here I'm going to do the top part, and I should have put a piece of tape over the Thinking because you can see that I got ink on my piece of cardstock there. So I'll just use a white eraser to erase that, and it came up really cleanly. That's all I needed to do. I didn't need to sand it with my sand eraser. So I was really happy about that. So definitely either clean your stamp really well or just mask it with some purple tape and you should be good to go. All that's left is to adhere the floral, and I'm just going to adhere that with some Ranger Multimedia Matte Glue. And because the panel is popped up, it adds dimension to your die cut, even though the die cut is adhered directly to that panel. So this is our first card. For the next card, I used the large die to cut a piece of Neenah, and then I also dry embossed an A2 size panel with that same die. So I used an embossing mat and ran that through my die cutting machine to impress the pattern into the bottom. I did that because I want to Copic color this image, and I need, of course, the outlines of the image. So I'm going to be using the R21, 22, 24, and 29 color series, and I'm starting off with my darkest, which is the R29, blending that out with the R24, and then I'll blend that out with the 22 and 21. And I'm just doing some simple coloring to try and get some smooth blends with these petals, and then I'll check it with the die to make sure that I'm not going too far outside of the embossed lines. It's looking good, so I'll finish those flowers and then move on to the yellow flower. For those, I'm going to use Y18, Y13, and Y26. You don't actually see me use Y26 on camera. I do that off camera, but basically I just add small little dots of the darkest color to the base of those petals just to add more depth because it didn't have a lot of dimension once I put the die cut over it. So there you can see those petals are darker. For the greens, I'm going to use a combination of YG67, YG63, and YG03. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm adding the darkest color to the base first, blending that out with the 6-3, and then blending that out with the 03. For one set of the green leaves, I end up coloring the wrong area and have to go back in. So it can get a little confusing with just the dry embossed image. And so it's a good idea to have your die cut next to you as a reference for what you need to color. So here's where I realize I didn't color everything that I needed to on that green leaf. So I've added some Ranger Multimedia Matte Glue to the back of this die cut, and I'm just getting it adhered after the coloring is complete. And I didn't stack this die cut at all. I'm just using the one layer and that's it. And I think the crisp white outline of the die cut just makes such a beautiful image for this. I'm stamping Happy Everything on a scrap piece of cardstock, and I will go ahead and cut this sentiment in half. Well, not in half. I'll separate the two words and I'll do a sentiment strip with this one. I'm going to pop this up on some Darice foam strips, which are perfect for sentiment strips. I'll have all of the products that I use listed down below for your reference, guys, in case you're interested in that. Then all that was left was to embellish with some Nuvo crystal drops in the color Ebony, so black also. I think the black adds a pop of color, and I like to have black in more than one area, so if I have a black sentiment, I want to add it somewhere else too. Moving on to the third card, I'm stamping Missing from the Missing You sentiment, and I have die cut both of the corner dies from my favorite gold cardstock, which is Stardream Metallic Gold. So here you can see it here. This is a 110-pound cardstock, and it's beautiful. It's not super shiny. It has shimmer to it, but it's not like overwhelmingly gold, if you know what I mean. It's just a really nice shade. So here I'm going to stamp the U up here, and I just let the rest of the sentiment hang off the end of my Misty and didn't have any issues with that. But I'm just lining up my sentiments with the two die cuts so that I can create a frame all the way around the card between the die cuts and the sentiments. So we have Missing You. And then I thought this was really pretty, but once I put it on here, I'm like, there's not enough black. Only the sentiments are black, and that just looks weird to me. So I went ahead and I adhered these to the card, and now I have a Sakura Micron pen. And I'm just going to fill in a few of the areas. So I'm going to do the centers and then also the leaves, but I'll leave the petals white. Now this works because with a Sakura Micron, for the most part, ink only comes out of the tip of the pen or out of the tip of the nib, unlike your Copic marker. So if you tried to do that last card by adhering your die cuts first, you would have ink all over that die cut. It would be a hot mess, which is why I opted to dry emboss the image for that one and then cover it up with the die. I think that that is a far more successful technique than trying to take your Copics to die cuts that are already adhered. Hopefully that makes sense. I didn't add any further embellishments to this card. What I did is I took the ends of the leaves and curled them up to add a little bit of visual dimension that way. And I love how crisp and elegant this card looks. Here's the set of cards. I hope that you guys enjoyed my stop on the hop today. Be sure to leave a comment down below and check out the next person on the hop to keep this hop going strong. Huge thanks to Justine Hovey again. She's just been so amazing for our community and especially for YouTubers and bloggers who are just getting started. It helps to give us that extra boost that we need to get our channel moving. Big thanks to Pink and Main again for sponsoring our giveaway, and to you guys for stopping by. If you like what you saw, please hit that subscribe and like button down below and ring the bell to be notified of more inspiration. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I'll see you again soon.